Welcome to the new iForward channel featuring healthcare history. The topic today is disinfection in the British Navy and is brought to you by the Institute for Disease Prevention Engineering. Please become part of iForward's effort to re-engineer the healthcare system. Healthcare history gives us a unique window to view the modern healthcare system. How did those long ago that were responsible for the lives of individuals try to make sense of disease before they knew of vitamins or the germ theory of disease? How could they understand the phenomena of disease before the existence of modern scientific methods and before modern research tools were available? Diseases have always flourished, and efforts were made to control diseases. That led to nutritional solutions for scurvy and cleanliness efforts for other diseases, despite limited technical know-how. The British Navy led the effort at sea. At the height of Great Britain's empire, their navy commanded the sea lanes of the world. Today, many modern hospitals fare poorly when compared with the sanitation efforts of the British Wooden Navy. The Navy created many standards in the attempt to control disease. They realized that they must do something to preserve the lives of their highly trained crews. It took years to fully train the officers and men, and these people were highly valued, and every effort was made to keep them healthy. A lesser warship could beat a greater warship provided the latter maintained a better trained and healthy crew. The greatest navy in the world was great because of its superior asset, its crews. Operating and fighting complex sailing vessels was not for the faint of heart. During the 7 Years' War, which included the French and Indian War, the British Admiralty was desperate to prevent the diseases that could occur during long voyages and ravage the entire crew. The crew members could not be replaced at sea. There were many ways that a sailor might die. Naval combat was in itself a deadly, bloody occupation. Admiral Horatio Nelson had fought in over 100 actions before he was struck down at Trafalgar. Most sailors could not swim, and all vessels leaked, most having rotting timbers and shipworms, so the sea was a peril in itself. But disease killed more sailors than battles or the sea. Common health problems aboard ship could be scurvy, malaria, yellow fever, plague, smallpox, and the list goes on. Common sense said that these maladies could be caused by breathing in bad air or miasma. Below decks, all spaces were confined and cramped. There were no barriers to communicable diseases. Today's modern hospitals continuously pass diseases via aerosolized pathogens such as MRSA or KPC. Little space was available for life aboard ships. Like today, bad air was understood to be a main cause of disease. The British Navy took care to get fresh air below deck and use hand-operated ventilators that were manned during every watch. A standard 74-gun wooden warship was used by most navies and invented by the French. This vessel might be 165 feet long and was home to at least 600 men living in close proximity. Some crew members were as young as 12. At the Naval Battle of Trafalgar, at least half of the 80 warships engaged from all three nations were 74-gun ships of the line. Rats infested ships, and some felt that rat meat could be a scurvy preventative. Rats ate through barrels, which before canning were the main storage method aboard ships, and food rotted easily in the damp shipboard environment. The British Navy scrubbed their ships every day to maintain cleanliness. Upon the capture of French ships, the difference was quite apparent. The French lacked the habits of the English. The smell aboard a French vessel was appalling, but cleanliness wasn't the only cause of bad-smelling enemy ships. While the English buried their dead at sea, the French might store the dead in the bilge without refrigeration. Compared to their enemies, British ships were the cleanest, most disease-free ships of the war. In 1758, the British Admiralty convened a board of naval officers to determine the best way to rid a ship of disease. The ship disinfection process became: remove all the ballast, then clean and scrub the ship, then seal the ship and fumigate it by burning sulfur-based gunpowder within the enclosed ship. Except for the fumigant, this process is not too different from the recommended afloat process for hospitals. Hospitals generally do not understand how to do this. The constant introspection of the British Navy led them to try to do better at their jobs, and job one was keeping their fighting crews healthy. The main reference for the IFOR channel is the text Creating Healthy Hospitals, and is available from ifor.org in PDF format. IFOR is the only organization dedicated to disease prevention engineering and promoting the healthy hospital design.